up, Flandy friends? So today, as you can tell, I'm rocking a new outfit. And I'll also be doing a new review style, so please let me know in the comments what you think of both. For now, though, we're going to be taking a look at the 2000 Dungeons & Dragons movie. With Honor Among Thieves coming out, I figured it's only right to check out what came before, so buckle up as we experience this train wreck of mastery, Dungeons & Dragons. Probably wondering, if you haven't seen it already, who the bad guy is. And guys, I have an absolute treat for you. There is an actual main character in this, but they don't matter, because the true star of this movie is in fact the villain. So let me go ahead and introduce you to Mr. Jeremy Irons himself as Protheon. He is absolutely enjoying every scene he's in as he realizes how silly this movie is. So he's just having the time of his life in absolutely every moment of this movie. One day, I too hope to touch a rod and experience just a fraction of the joy that he gets from this one. Because look at this face. This is clearly the face of a man who has done unspeakable things with that rod. And this, unfortunately, is the face of a man who has seen those unspeakable acts unfold. Now, what this rod is actually a rod of dragon control. And before you ask, no, these effects were not good for that time, and they're bad. And they get worse. Just believe me, they get a lot worse. So the dragon breaks the dragon rod control, and unfortunately they have to rancor it. Fun fact, apparently dragon blood sets water on fire. Haven't read that in any player's handbooks or DM guides. Now we're introduced to our actual two main characters, Ripley and Snails. Now, coming from this, I had seen a lot of reviews about this, and a lot of people had talked about Snails, and they hated him. Which I absolutely get. I really do. Comedy sidekicks aren't really my thing. But hear me out. If you take this performance not as a performance of someone who is in this world in a serious position, or just anyone who is trying to be serious, and instead take it more in the mindset of a player at a table playing a Dungeons & Dragons with a character, all of a sudden everything he does becomes hilarious because it makes sense for a table game for stuff to play out how it does. So please, while you're watching those scenes, give it a try and let me know what you think below, whether or not it improves it for you or if you still just hate him.
Council to turn against me.
He plays on the fears of the others, their fears of change.
Yes, I know, Vilden, but the changes I propose are for the good of the people. All people deserve to be free and equal, whether commoner or mage.
Yeah, a bunch of old guys not accepting change, progress, or, anything to help the common man. Sadly, the most realistic aspect of this movie, and, yeah, so there's that. Remember taking a look at this scene? Imagine it I'm playing out at a table rather than a serious movie.
Come on, Snails. I thought you said this was gonna be easy.
No, I said it wasn't impossible.
You see? That's the same thing you said when we robbed that little halfling's house. And who'd he catch? Me. And who'd he beat from the waist down? Me.
Are you gonna jump?
You gonna catch me?
I'm gonna catch you.
Promise?
I promise. Now jump.
All right.
Now we're introduced to our third main character, Belle. Her actual character name is Marina, but look at her. Surrounded by books, wanting adventure and a great ride somewhere. This is Magical Belle, and you can't convince me otherwise, but...
Thieves trying to rob us.
Okay, so for every Dungeon Master out here, I want you to take notes on this next part, because, it's just perfect. Look at this. They are literally being roped into the plot. You can't get any better than that. Now, I'm not going to ruin what's going on here for you. I'm going to do that later. But just know it's bad. Because this is borderline bad. Nope, definitely a bad touch. Definitely a bad touch. And here we see a typical Dungeons & Dragons tavern. And here we see a typical Dungeons & Dragons player eating during a game. Trust me, I'm one of them.
Yeah, well, have you ever heard of honor amongst thieves?
So, hopefully this is not where the new D&D movie got its name from. Fingers crossed.
You know, those red marks there look like the locks my father used to put on plans in his carriage.
Well, I think this is a cool scene. Really? Ancient, thousands-of-year-old map uses the same locking mechanisms as a modern-ish buggy person? Come on now. Really? And this right here is just proof that he took at least one level in Bard.
You looking for somebody in particular? Or are you just looking for somebody?
So here's where we learn a little bit about the plot and the quest is laid out for us. You gotta go get the dragon gem from a thief and then put it in a dragon eye, and then you'll be able to get the rod of dragon control.
Oh, is that all? Mm-hmm. Have you lost your damn mind?
Also, how a typical D&D group forms, not gonna lie. So here our group has found a walking Power Rangers villain, and he's supposed to lead them to the Thieves Guild in the city, and he's weird. Even by D&D standards, he's weird. So we've had a dragon and not a dungeon, but a maze. This is where we enter into the Indiana Jones portion of this, and I wish I was joking. Just look at some of these scenes. That look familiar? What about this? Go into a trapped area and you have to only step on the very specific stones, or else traps will happen. Oh look, we even have a ceiling with spikes. And this scene is just a blatant ripoff. I mean, really? I hope Indiana sued. I'm gonna be honest. So, during the attack, Marina gets taken, and bad things are gonna happen. Bit of a spoiler there. Mirror, mirror on the wall, can this film be saved at all?
No, Your Highness.
Damn it. Worth a shot. Here we go. This is Smurflip's new power, ear tentacles. You thought you've seen it all, but nope. Ear tentacles. And not just any ear tentacles that can read your thoughts. I do not envy this poor girl. Or this one, actually, now that I think about it.
You know, I love the way you track. You wouldn't have to be single, are you?
I'm sorry, are those beholders?
Ridley, look. Beholders.
And before you get excited, no, they're not going to fight a beholder either. Instead,
A little distraction.
they're going to play fetch with it. And I'm not going to lie, that's adorable, and I'm sad I've never tried playing fetch with a beholder, because I want to. So while his buddy goes and finds the dragon map that was taken from them, Hero Boy goes and saves Marina. And here we have it, the battle of the ages. Snails versus Smurflips. Who's gonna win?
You cannot be serious. I've never been so serious.
Ooh. Better luck next time, Snails. Okay. I get she's under a lot of stress, but we saw a lot more emotion from Queen Amidala in Phantom Menace. And here, just watch this scene, guys. Just listen to this acting.
Man who convinced you to take the scepter from me so that he would leave the state defenseless. Be careful, my friends. For once he's done with me, this council may be next.
We go from that to this clearly stable person over here.
I ask you one last time. Will you submit to the ruling of this council?
And now we have Ripley getting healed by an elf and... Bloody, is that Tom Baker? Can the Doctor please save this film? Please, Doctor, take me with you.
I'm not gonna die over some power struggle between a couple greedy mages.
And of course, after Snail's death, we've got to come over here and have this third act breakup moment where mages are bad and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, that was over quick at least. And of course, we get our sweet, you know, little romantic kiss throughout this. And is that imp getting off on... Yeah, that imp definitely is getting off on that. Ugh.
This is the entrance to the dungeon.
Finally, we get a dungeon in Dungeons and Dragons. What's the party gonna do? Oh. They've hit a barrier too strong for anyone to pass the plot barrier. So far, these three characters have been useless. Ripley's the one who went through the maze, Ripley's the one who went through the dungeon, which, by the way, I cut out some segments here, but this was the shortest dungeon I've ever seen. I mean, if you've ever played Dungeons & Dragons, dungeons can take up 2 to 3 real day sessions, like multiple hours to go through. This was like a hop, skip, and he's done. And of course it leads straight to a treasure room. I have never had a treasure room that quick, and I wouldn't trust it. Everything in there's a mimic. Everything. That's the only logical sense that makes sense here. And that's a lich. I know it's not gonna be, but if this was an actual Dungeons and Dragons, lich. Instead, we just kind of get a Crypt Keeper vibe.
Why do you disturb the rod of Sabril? Be warned, anyone who wields the power of the rod shall suffer a horrible fate.
So now that our heroes have completed their journey more or less, they got in the gem from the Thieves Guild, attached it to the little dragon statue, got in the staff. We cut back to the city where, quite frankly, the worst CGI battle I've ever encountered is going on screen. Just be prepared. Some of these scenes you might actually die of laughter from. So just, you know, if you need a moment, pause, prepare yourself, because here we go. Oh, the horror, the awful CGI horror that's unfolding on screen.
What have I done?
And of course, Smurflips has caught up to them by this point and is holding them hostage.
Give me the rod!
And you'll release them?
Look at that face. Is that the face of a
You
liar?
have my word.
You said you'd let them go!
I lied.
Fucking plot twist. He was a liar. I am shocked, sir. Just shocked.
Let their blood rain from the sky!
Look at him. Look at that glee on his face. I just want to pinch his little evil cheeks. Well, that's just dumb.
I will become you!
I'm sorry. I cannot take her seriously in that headdress. How did she even get there? She was on a dragon. A dragon is not subtle. If a dragon had landed near there, I think they would have known.
Your Majesty.
Also, pro tip, if you have any sort of person who is just as over the top as this guy, and he starts making grand gestures like, oh yes, you might have done this, he's gonna do something shady. Just shoot him, stab him, blow him up, whatever you gotta do.
It's over, Profian.
The battle may be, Your Majesty. Maybe. But not
Rest in peace, Mr. Irons. You were the best part of this film. Speaking of resting in peace, now that the events are over, we do finally get to mourn our dear friend Snails' passing. Wait, What is this? Could it be? And our squadron takes off for the next adventure, which thankfully we're never gonna see. So guys, that was Dungeons and Dragons. It's bad, but I don't think it's as bad as most people think, at least not if you come at it with the right mentality. Like I said, Snails, a lot of people hated, but for me, I found him kind of enjoyable with the right mindset. I mean, once again, being a player in games and goofing around a bit, yeah, that character kind of works. But it also has its issues, namely that Jeremy Irons wasn't the main character because, I mean, if he had been, totally different movie, 5 stars, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, just absolute amazing. But aside from that, it's pretty boring, all things considered. I mean, D&D is a fantasy land full of amazing races, amazing adventures, amazing magic, and instead what we get are 4 very bland characters, 3 of which are utterly useless throughout the entire film, and one basic guy who does everything by luck and manages to get through it and saves the day. So, fingers crossed, Honor Among Thieves. If it's not a good movie, at least I hope it keeps up with the D&D energy and the D&D comedy, which so far the trailers seem promising, but we'll just have to wait and see. That's all I've got for you today, Flandy friends. I hope you enjoyed the review, and as always, if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps my small channel to grow. But until next time, catch you later, Flandy friends. Bye!